Before there were gods, before there were titans, before stars, before time, before even the idea of before, there was only chaos. Welcome to Mythology Flix. If you've ever wondered how the universe began according to the ancient Greeks, if you've ever been curious about Zeus, Hercules, the Trojan War, if you've ever wanted to understand Greek mythology not as random stories, but as one complete connected saga, then you're in exactly the right place. I'm your guide through the greatest story ever told. And over the next 72 episodes across 6 seasons, we're going to experience Greek mythology the way it was meant to be experienced, as a chronological epic. From the birth of the universe to the fall of Troy, from chaos to the end of the age of heroes, no random jumping around, no disconnected tales, just one continuous story, building episode by episode, season by season, revealing how everything connects. This is Mythology Flix, the complete story of Greek mythology, and this is Season 1, Episode 1, In the Beginning, the Void of Chaos. By the end of this episode, you'll understand what existed before existence. You'll witness the first moment of creation, and you'll see why nothing that comes after, not the gods, not the heroes, not even Zeus himself, could exist without this moment, could exist without this moment. Let's begin at the true beginning. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, try to imagine nothing, not darkness. Darkness is something. A shadow needs light to exist, not silence. Silence is just the absence of sound, and absence implies something should be there. They're not even emptiness, because emptiness is a space that could be filled. Try harder. Push your mind to its limits. Imagine a state where existence and non-existence mean the same thing, where being and unbeing occupy the same impossible space, where every possibility exists and doesn't exist simultaneously. The ancient Greeks had a word for this state: chaos. Not chaos as we understand it today, not disorder, not confusion, not random noise. Chaos was something far older, far stranger, far more fundamental. The word chaos in ancient Greek, means the yawning void, the gaping chasm, the space before space, the breath before the first word. It was pure potential, undefined, unformed, unbounded, not waiting for something to happen, not empty and longing to be filled, just existing in a state that transcends both existence and non-existence. Think of it like this: before the Big Bang, before quantum fields, before even the laws of physics existed to tell reality what it could and couldn't be, there was only this: a stillness so deep that time itself hadn't yet learned to tick, a silence so complete that sound had not yet been invented, a darkness so absolute that light had never been imagined. And yet, chaos wasn't dead, wasn't inert, wasn't frozen. It was alive with potential, pregnant with possibility, like a held breath, like the pause between heartbeats, like the moment before a word is spoken. The ancient Greek poet Hesiod, who lived almost 3,000 years ago, tried to describe this primordial state in his epic poem, the Theogony, which literally means the birth of the gods. He wrote, "In truth, at first, chaos came to be." Just that, simple, direct, profound. In the beginning was chaos. No creator, no divine command, no let there be light, just the void, the gap, the infinite potential of nothing and everything. And here's what makes this so different from other creation myths. Chaos didn't create anything. Chaos wasn't a god who made the universe. Chaos was the universe in its most primordial form, the raw material, the original state, the cosmic womb. But here's the question that haunted Greek philosophers for centuries. How does something come from nothing? How does order emerge from chaos? How does the defined emerge from the undefined? Because eventually, impossibly, something did emerge. Within the void, something began to stir. Not through any act of will, not through any conscious decision, but as if existence itself demanded to be. As if the very concept of nothing was unstable, unsustainable. As if chaos, in its perfect, undefined state, contained within itself the seeds of its own transformation. The Greeks understood something profound here, something that modern physics would take thousands of years to rediscover. True nothingness is impossible. Even in what we call empty space, quantum fields fluctuate. Virtual particles pop in and out of existence. Energy and matter dance at the edge of being. The void is never truly void. Chaos is never truly empty. Nothing always contains the potential for something. And so from chaos, the first separations began. Not with a bang, not with violence, not with sound or light or fire, but with a gentle, inevitable differentiation. Like water separating into droplets, like light refracting into colors, like silence breaking into music. The first thing to emerge from chaos was solidity itself, the concept of substance, of groundedness, of having somewhere to stand. In our next episode, we'll witness this first emergence. We'll meet the being who would become the foundation of all reality, the conscious earth herself, Gaia. But right now, in this moment, we need to understand what chaos represents, because chaos isn't just the beginning of the story. Chaos is the reason the story can happen at all. Every creation myth wrestles with the same fundamental problem. Why is there something rather than nothing? The Greeks answered this question not with a creator god who existed outside reality, making the universe like a craftsman makes a pot. They answered it with chaos, the recognition that existence and non-existence are not opposites, but two aspects of the same impossible reality. Chaos is both the question and the answer. It's the mystery and the revelation. It's the void that contains everything. And here's why this matters for understanding everything that comes next. The Greek conception of chaos is radically different from how most other ancient cultures imagine the beginning. In many creation myths, there's a god who already exists outside of time, who then decides to create the universe. There's intention, planning, design. But the Greeks said no, before intention, before planning, before even the possibility of decision, there was chaos, no consciousness deciding to create, no divine blueprint being followed, just the void existing in a state that transcends both being and non-being, until something within it began to shift. This isn't randomness, it's not accident, it's more like inevitability, like water flowing downhill, like energy moving from high concentration to low. Like the universe itself, following laws that existed before anything else could exist. Chaos was the state of pure potential, and potential, by its very nature, must actualize, must become, must emerge, must transform. The philosopher Aristotle, hundreds of years after Hesiod, would wrestle with this same concept. He called it the movement from potentiality to actuality, from what could be to what is. And that movement, that transformation, is what we're about to witness across this entire series. Chaos contained everything that would ever exist. All the gods, all the titans, all the heroes, all the stories. They were all there in potential, waiting in the void. Not as conscious beings, not as formed entities, but as possibilities, as patterns, as structures waiting to emerge. Think of it like this. Chaos is like silence before music. The music doesn't exist yet, but all possible melodies are present in that silence. When the first note sounds, it's not creating something from nothing. It's actualizing one possibility from an infinite field of potential. That's what's about to happen in the next 11 episodes of this season. One by one, the possibilities contained within chaos will actualize. One by one, the patterns will emerge from the formless. One by one, the cosmos will take shape from the void. Before we can understand the gods, we must understand what came before them. Before we can appreciate the heroes, we must grasp the precariousness of the reality they inhabit. Before we can witness the wars and love affairs and betrayals, we must stand here at the beginning in the void and feel its infinite potential. Chaos is not the enemy in Greek mythology. Chaos is the canvas, the stage, the blank page upon which the entire story of gods and heroes will be written. And understanding this, truly grasping what chaos represents, will change how you see every story that follows. When Gaia emerges as solid earth, you'll understand that she's choosing form over formlessness. When Tartarus opens as the deep pit, you'll recognize it as chaos taking a different shape. When Eros appears as the force of attraction, you'll see it as chaos learning to connect its separated parts. Every god, every titan, every primordial force that emerges from chaos carries within it the memory of the void. And that void is not absence, it's potential. It's possibility. It's the infinite from which the finite is born, again and again and again. So here we stand, at the beginning, before the earth, before the sky, before light and darkness, day and night, life and death. There is only chaos, the yawning void, the gaping chasm, the breath before creation. And from this void, impossibly, inevitably, beautifully, everything will emerge. In our next episode, the first emergence happens. Consciousness takes form. The earth herself opens her eyes for the first time, and the foundation of all reality comes into being. We'll meet Gaia, the primordial earth goddess. We'll discover Tartarus, the deep pit beneath all things. And we'll witness Eros, the force that makes creation possible. These three beings, the first three, the original three, the foundational three, will set the pattern for everything that follows. But before that, there was only this, only chaos, only the infinite potential of the void. Take a moment to sit with that, to feel what it means, to understand that every atom in your body, every thought in your mind, every breath you take, all of it emerged ultimately from this primordial state. The Greeks looked at the stars and asked, where did all this come from? And they answered, from the void, from the gap, from chaos. Not as a scientific explanation, though remarkably, modern cosmology has its own versions of something from nothing, but as a poetic, philosophical, mythological truth, everything comes from nothing, form emerges from formlessness, cosmos arises from chaos, and the journey from one to the other is the greatest story ever told. Welcome to Mythology Flix. You've just witnessed the beginning. In the next episode, we watch as the void transforms, as nothing becomes something, as chaos gives birth to the first gods. The story is just beginning. This is Season 1 of Mythology Flix, the Primordial Age. We have 11 more episodes in this season, covering the birth of the universe, the rise and fall of Uranus, the emergence of the Titans, and the prophecy that sets everything else in motion. After that, Season 2, the rise of the Olympians, Cronus' golden age, Zeus's hidden childhood, and the war that will reshape the cosmos. 6 seasons, 72 episodes, the complete story from beginning to end. If you want to experience Greek mythology the way it was meant to be experienced, as one continuous, connected, chronological epic,
Then subscribe now. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications.
because every week we're releasing new episodes and you won't want to miss a single one. Next time, Gaia, Tartarus, and Eros, the first 3 gods, the foundation of everything. Until then, remember, before there was anything, there was chaos, and from chaos, everything. See you in the next episode.